Hello, Sonder family. Welcome to your December 2024 monthly setup. Can you believe it? We're at the very end of this year. I tell you, when it was July and super hot, I didn't think it would ever end. And here we are. My name is Jennifer Ogilvy, and I am so excited to be coming off of my carbohydrate low, high, low, whatever. I ate so much yesterday, and I'm just glad to like be resetting with you all tonight. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's so good to see you. So, yes, I'll get to be your facilitator. I'm the only one on camera. I'm the only one talking. So, this is a mics off, cameras off, chill out kind of gathering. And so you take what you need. My co-pilot tonight, the other facilitator that is on our call, is the fabulous Malika. And I'm gonna tell on you, Malika. She's giving you a little wave. She's in her bedroom, her childhood bedroom. She's been with her parents, and she's hanging out. So she'll be in the chat if y'all need anything. Just let her know. She'll point you in the right direction, or I will if I'm not on camera. So a reminder to set your chat to everyone, because we will communicate that way with one another tonight. Now I know many of you have a way that you're going to set up. So you've just kept this date with yourself. This is your accountability date. Your partners are waiting on you so that we can knock this out. But I also have some examples of ways to repurpose. And we may also have some brand new Sonder family members joining us tonight. And so, you might be able to lend a helping hand to someone who is new. Malika's asking if you're brand new, because I see a ton. I see our family here. I see you. I see you. I see your names. But if you're new, please drop a I'm new or me, or, so we can give you a welcome. Cat saying that she's new here. And so we love this time of setting up our journal, because we get ideas from each other, but it really is like if somebody's waiting at your front door to go walk in, right? You're going to do it because somebody's waiting to do it with you. So we're really, really glad that you guys are all here. Well, you know what, Sheila, she says she's not new, but it's been a while since she's come to a social. So, we love restarting, and we're glad that you're here. Oh, and Missy's been shopping on the Silk and Sonder site using that Black Friday sale. And I know, Missy, that all last week, headquarters was like doing all the stuff to get ready for Black Friday. So if y'all haven't checked that out, you might want to, grab you some stickers, while you can get some good deals on that. We love we love a good deal, don't we? I did include this slide because I do know that while we are going to start digging into our new theme of optimism, and we're coming off of a month of looking at joy, this is just a good reminder that this time of year can also be a very sensitive, tender kind of year, time of year, and you are welcome here. Come as you are to any of the socials we have this month. It is okay if you're not necessarily feeling joyful or optimistic. You are among friends and family when you're with the Sonder community. But I love this. You're going to come in contact with a lot of people who are at their breaking point this season: friends, family, coworkers, teachers, strangers, retail workers. And while it may be the merriest of time of the year for some, it can be the saddest, loneliest, most stressful, more heartbreaking for so many others. And so we are all busy, but we're not too busy to be kind, caring, and patient. That's what I love about this community. So remember, the best thing you can do is just give someone a little love right now. I like kind of framing our new theme of the month, optimism, within that kind of mindset that we're all doing life, and it's not always sunshine and rainbows, and the best thing we can do is be our authentic, kind selves to ourselves, but to each other. And I love this about winter. That's what winter is, an exercise in remembering how to still yourself and then how to come pliantly back to life again. And I kind of embrace this for the month of December personally, and I'll visit a little bit about that in a minute, but about trying to be a little more stiller. So we'll let's dig in and let's get moving forward with our month. So here are the community guidelines that we share when we are with one another. We create safe spaces, whether you are hanging out in the app, whether you're at a social. So these are those reminders about how we make those safe spaces happen in our accountability to the group when we're together. All right, so optimism. I love thinking about optimism. I think I'm a fairly optimistic person. Definitely, you think about half the glass is half full, half empty. I was raised by a half empty gal, right? And I think so. I tend to sort of go in the other direction as an act of defiance. Um, but I found this I love it. Yes, you can begin again. You can plant new seeds and dreams. You can start over and cultivate a fresh path and blossom into who you want to become. It may not be easy at first, but remember, sometimes the only thing stopping you is you. So give yourself the freedom and space to bloom into who you want to be. You have the courage. And so we are going to just think about, even though December is the end of the year, it can also be a fresh start, a fresh mindset. We can really embrace an optimistic mindset and move forward into, finish the year strong and welcome 2025 with a better, a 1 month better version of ourselves. So, we always like to remind you, please read the letter from our founder, Meha. She writes us a beautiful letter at the beginning of every month, kind of talking about why this theme is happening and what's going on and what she's thinking about. And a couple of things dropped, kind of hit me. When she's talking about the idea of optimism, it's an opportunity to deliberately face our fears, doubts, and challenges, coupled along with our strengths, callings, and curiosity. I laugh. All of those words could be our theme, right? Themes for several months. She says, what if we operated from the mindset that life may actually be rigged in our favor? And that again is kind of embracing that glass is half full mindset instead of, for me, this is happening. Why is this happening? And I mean, that's a default to go to, but how can we dig ourselves out and have that optimistic outlook? That's what we're going to discover as we work on this. Remember, relentless optimism is contagious. So that's a good thing, but make sure you give some time to take a look at that letter. Tonight, we're going to do an opening activity. We have our November reflections. We have our December intentions. We'll be setting up our mood tracker, habit tracker, and I have a little bonus exercise for us to do together at the very end that I think you'll enjoy. So let's get going. We've got our opening activity with our acrostic point. So you are invited to find a blank page, sticky notes, your thoughts journal, wherever you want. And I want you just to real quickly start thinking about what comes to your mind when you hear optimism. Maybe it is that half full glass, rose-colored glasses. Don't second guess yourself. Just start kind of brainstorming and dropping those things down. And then try to come up with 8 words or phrases that will describe what optimism means to you. Now, you can see how you can work all of that in a poem where the first letter of each line is a letter from the word optimism. That's to make it an acrostic, but you don't have to. No one's going to grade. This is not English class. Language arts class, so you can make your optimism poem however you'd like. If you want to have those letters embedded in the middle of a line, that's okay too. And let's take a look. So we've got it broken down like that. Love this quote. Optimism is the one quality more associated with success and happiness than any other. And that's by Brian Tracy, who is like a motivational speaker. And if you've been to Silk and Sonder a while, you've heard us when we set those weekly goals. Sometimes folks will do the eat the frog goal. Does that sound familiar? That's that one thing that you don't want to procrastinate, or you do want to procrastinate, but you just eat the frog. You get it done. He is the eat the frog guy, Brian Tracy. That's who kind of came up with that term. So there's a little fun fact for you tonight. So I kind of sat with optimism. And one of the things I did this last year and I'm going to do it again this year, is my journal in December looks very different from how I do my journal in the rest, the previous months of the year. Last year, I was very seasonal focused. My faith celebrates an Advent period of this, counting down to the birth of Christ. And I just wanted to be a lot more intentional with that. There are so many things happening this time of year. We have many different types of celebrations. There's Christmas. I said there's like the church Christmas, but then there's secular Christmas that we all embrace. There's Hanukkah. There's so many things. Maybe Kwanzaa is important in your life. And so we have this like pressure with all these things. And I wanted to be very intentional with a quieter, stiller, frame of mind. And so everything, now, Brenda, we don't have an Advent social this year. That's a good question. So I did my optimism acrostic kind of focused in Advent season. And I was going to tell you that I kind of got a little stuck. So I used my personal coach, Jenny, and I said, Jenny, help me write an acrostic poem using the word optimism where I can focus on my Advent journey. And so I got inspired from that. And so I some of these words are mine, but some of them were sparked from my personal coach. So that's another little advantage you have. If you look into the personal coaching, you can ask that coach a question, and that coach takes everything known about you and then can generate some information that's very meaningful to you. So here's mine. Again, I wanted to focus on Advent. Open your heart to the beauty of the moment. Pause to savor the peace in fleeting stillness. Trust that even in darkness, light finds its way. Invite gratitude to rest in your soul. Move gently within the rhythm of the present, intertwining joy with the lessons of waiting. Seek growth, not perfection. Miracles unfold in the simplest acts. And so thanks, Amanda. Again, I got a little help from my coach. I also have some fun examples over there on the right for you to find some inspiration. Now, this was a poem that someone did, and they actually did optimistic dreams instead of optimism. And I'm giving you permission to make this into a haiku if that is something that is speaking to you. So yeah, it was pretty cool, Meha. I loved like help me write that. So anyhow, I'm gonna put on some music while you visit the idea of optimism in your life, what it means to you. And do you want to kind of theme it out like over optimism about the holiday season or about life in general? It's really about the journey that you want to take this month. And share in the chat as things are coming, forth in your brain, and maybe someone else is there who will be like, they could make a suggestion. Feel free to interact and cheer each other on as we work on these poems. I'll be back to check in with you in just a few minutes. Now, if you did not get that poem done, it's okay. You've got lots of time to do it. You know, you can do it while I'm talking about some of the slides we're getting ready to go over, or you can kind of think on it and sort of decide which direction you want to take. Some of you are dropping in, you know, some of the things that are coming up for you. You've used your coach. A couple of you use the chat GPT. What I loved about using my coach is she knows that I'm trying to be mindful. That's one of the things that I shared with her in my onboarding. Like I'm trying to slow down and be very mindful and not wish my life away at this little riper age of mine. And so she was able to take that and use that information. So I love that. But yes, continue, you know, to work on it, think about it, let it popcorn around in your head. And that will help you. And I want to also remind you, since we're doing the acrostic now, maybe take a moment and go back and look at the acrostic you did for November and the theme of joy. And after you did all the, you know, activities and setting your month up through that lens of joy, how does that acrostic hit, you know, a month later? I think that's kind of fun to see, you know, how it's still fitting, or maybe you would change some things up because of the journey you took with that theme. So now let's dig into our planner. Now, if you are here and you don't have your planner yet, it's coming. Just take some notes. If you're brand new, you might want to grab some screenshots. But as a reminder, this event is being recorded, and we have 3 more monthly setups that will also be happening. So you have some opportunity to go back and either catch this recording or get another Sonder Social in, right, to get what you need. So I have found a ton of quotes. So I'm just going to keep popping these quotes at y'all. Yesterday is gone. Tomorrow has not yet come. We have only today. So let us begin. And that is Mother Teresa. So I'm going to ask you to turn to your page 8. And we're going to take a look at our November reflections. Now this page has I'm dividing this page up into 2 little sessions. So we'll start with our reflections, and we're going to take a look at the wins, those things that made you happy, that you're like, yes, I did it, I got it done. Those accomplishments. The next thing that we're going to be thinking about are those challenges, kind of those thorns from the month. Things that didn't go right. There were some stumbling blocks. Maybe there were people or, you know, meetings that didn't go well, just things that were frustrating to you. And then, of course, your favorite moments of the month, those things, you know, that like just, oh, I love November. So, a way to kind of think about this is think about those rosebud thorns that you worked on. Maybe go look at your goals and your to-dos throughout the month and see what was accomplished and maybe what is waiting to just be moved forward and come forward with you into a new month. We also say grab your phone, look at your camera roll. What caught your eye so that you took a picture of it? Go look at that. Look at your calendar. How did you spend your time? And sometimes I laugh. You know, if you've been with me, I'll say, or you can go look at your credit card statement. That's usually where I find my challenges. You know, when I had to buy a new water heater or new tires for the car, the credit card statement tells me that story. So I want you to just kind of consider your reflections for the month. Now that space at the bottom, we're going to work on separately. So right now, let's just kind of revisit this past month. And I would love to know, drop in the chat your wins, your challenges. You know, how can we just hold space with one another as we're journeying through life and, you know, enjoying the good stuff, but how can we also just be there for one another through those challenges? The reminder that you're not alone when you're with the Sonder community. And then we want to celebrate those favorite moments. And I'll be back to check in with you in just a few minutes. thank you for taking a moment to do a reflection over this past month. I realize you may still be working on that. Continue to do to write and reflect as I'm talking. I just want to make sure that we have plenty of time to get all our work done tonight. So we do hold space together when there's rough times. Always remember you've got your Sonder family. And we know life is ups and downs. And I also want to remind you, your wins can be very small things. It's the things that speak to you. And so I know a lot of you have said you have seen Wicked, and that's been a favorite moment. Maybe a win is, instead of feeling sad, you went and put on the musical soundtrack and sang your heart out, instead of letting those feelings take you down a harder path. So always keep in mind, this is all very personal. So it doesn't have to be these huge life-changing things. It can just be these small moments of, I went for a walk and I saw my favorite flowers, something like that. It's about being mindful. So thank you. Brenda, I am sorry about your sewer backing up. That's no fun. We've been there. That's one of those credit card things that you end up checking, right? When something like that. We see Pink, getting to see Pink in concert. I heard that was amazing. New homes are super exciting. A lot of work though, right? When you're moving, Meha. And again, slim pickings, but they're there. We're going to keep digging and we're going to find it. And again, if we learned anything last month, in the month of joy, it was how to find that, because it's there. We just have to dig. So thanks for doing that. You can continue to work on this page, but I do want to take a moment now to look at that start, stop, and continue section. Because for me personally, this is kind of my foundation that's going to set me up for the rest of the month. I'm going to get my intentions from this little space. I'm going to be looking at some goals and some to-dos based off of what I end up writing in this space. So the things that you want to start are, of course, those things that are not being done right now, but you'd like to do it. Things to begin doing to get better results. Maybe, you need to put a little more oomph behind something. Or maybe there's just something you want to kind of try and just see what happens. You're not going to totally commit, but you're going to give it a whirl. The things that you're going to stop are the things that don't serve you anymore, things that do not help your life. If we keep doing the same thing over and over again, right, and expecting different results, that doesn't happen. So look at the practicality of things in your life. How can you streamline what needs to go away so that you have a more fruitful life? Things that you dislike, or things that no longer serving you. Are you just doing things because, is there something that you're just doing because you've always done it, but do you need to stop? And then, of course, the things that are working, those things that you're like, yes, I'm right on the money. I'm going to keep doing this. I'm going to keep leaning into this, embracing it. For me, it's my nutrition. And it's a slow process, but I'm going to continue to dig into my protein numbers, trying to hit those numbers every day. But the things that you want to keep, what are you going to continue? And again, for me, this is kind of that foundation that's going to springboard me into the rest of the decisions I make about what my month is going to look like. Now, one of the things that might be kind of a good way to set this up is to focus on one single area. So maybe there's a relationship that you're wanting to work on. And so maybe you just take that relationship and you look at it through the lens of, what am I starting? What do I want to stop? What do I want to continue with this relationship? Or perhaps it's something with your health or your wellness, and you're going to focus just on that. It could be something like decluttering, a decluttering challenge. Think about your core values. Is there a core value that something's happening and it's not really who you are? So how could you set this box up to embrace that core value, to reflect the authentic you? Through the lens of optimism, how can you embrace optimism through this? You could focus on the holiday season, finances, education. Maybe there's habits that you want to bring forth. I've got some great examples from you all. So I love the way both of these folks in their start box have said they're restarting, right? It's a fresh start, just like that quote that we leaned into at the beginning of our time together. So that's kind of a thing, that you can do. You can kind of look at it as a restart, get that motivation. This is really fun. If you're a sticker, those stickers want to be used. So grab those stickers and represent the things you want to start, stop, and continue through that kind of artsy expression. Now, this is my start, stop, and continue from last year at this very time. This was my December journal, and I was looking over it, and I believe it's going to be my start, stop, and continue for this year as well. So wanted to share that. Like, I'm going to kind of recycle that. And it embraces the things that I want to do. Again, that leaning into Advent, using my whole journal this month for my Advent journey. I'm going to focus on my Christmas care, which is a bingo board about mindfulness. And then this is just, I think these are so great. The questions, like, what is it? Why is it? And then how can I get it done? So, like, this first one, what do I want to start? I want to start clearing things and decluttering. And why? What is your why? So that I can get new carpeting. That's that reward. That's that reasoning behind what you're making the decision about. And then how am I going to do it? Well, I'm going to donate as much stuff as possible. So now this person can take that box and look at the things they want to start and use that to create their goals for the month, right? And those weekly goals or those habits. Maybe putting some things in the habit tracker about decluttering. So I like when we're very reflective and saying, what is it, why, and then how am I going to get there? So there's two great examples of that. Another way to frame this out could be to use this formula. I feel this way, X and Y. I feel this way because of this thing, and I want to feel this way. And so this, you can see the example here is I feel tired, slothy, burnt out because the seasons are changing, routine is changing, and I've been doing a lot. So I need to prioritize rest, movement, grace, and consistency. So that's a way to maybe frame that out if it's something that's speaking to what's going on in your life right now. So I'll go back and forth between these slides while you work on this section. Kind of let us know what's coming up for you, and I'll be back to check in with you in just a moment. Okay, that is great work that you guys are doing as you're considering what you're going to start and stop and continue in your lives. Now, I think again, this section is going to inform how we set up the rest of our journal for the month. So you might want to put a little paper clip on this page. Because you did some really good work here, and it's going to help you figure out how you're going to do those goals and for the month of December. So now let's flip to page 9, and we're going to set up our intentions for the month. Keep that in your head, what you just wrote in your start, stop, and continue box. And let's take a look at how we can plug some of that into the spiritual health, the personal life, your physical health, your key relationships, money management, and those professional goals that you have. And I love this quote from Stephen King: "You can, you should, and if you're brave enough to start, you will." So here we go. Now on this page, of course, using the theme of being optimistic, this optimism mindset is a great way to frame this out. You can focus on one area in your life: self-love, self-talk. What are you wanting to work on? Some folks are so creative and they use song lyrics, or a name of a song, or maybe a book title or a movie title for their intention. You might want to think about, how do you want to feel this month, and put those feeling words into that. I've got lots of examples to show you how our Sonder family does this. They use stickers, colors, images, be very graphic. And we love the idea of something you want to let go of and something you want to start doing, or maybe something more of, I want more of this and less of this. So let's look at some ideas. One of the things to do is you can just kind of start brainstorming and use sticky notes, like the example that you see right there. This month, we have lots of different things also that might speak to you. It's HIV/AIDS Awareness Month, National Human Rights Month, Learn a Foreign Language Month, and then, of course, Seasonal Affective Disorder Awareness Month. So Maya has started putting these kind of overall things in there in case it's something that will drive how you set your intentions. So the Sonder family is amazing, and we have lots of fun examples to look at. There's a sticker page. The one right below the sticker page, you can see they are doing more and they are doing less in each one of these intentions. So you could do a single word like the one in the middle, and I kind of like it's got that red and green for the holiday vibe. You could use the monthly theme, and there is an example from last year in December. And that theme was believe. And so maybe you have the word optimism that, for each one of these, and how are you going to embrace optimism in each one of those intention categories? And then also a reminder, you don't have to do all 6 of these intentions. Maybe because you're trying to be mindful and slow things down a bit for this time of year, you choose the top 4 in your life and you focus on those. You don't have to do all 6. So permission granted to take what you need. Also setting this up with statements with almost that affirmation mindset, the I will, I can, I commit to, those I statements that will help drive those intentions. And the example that is there, if you send her key relationships, it always jumps out at us: sexy cleaning, but it's really she's allowing herself to feel sexy, but then also it's cleaning to build family bond and peace. But it always cracks us up the way they pop out together. And then you can see someone has done some doodles, some art on their page. There's an example of song titles and lyrics. And then I put mine in from last year because I've pulled that out as a resource for myself because I'm working on my intentions along with you tonight. And that's on the bottom left there. And it was a lot of my stuff about, Advent, the Advent season. So hang on to those old journals because they will help inform. I wanted to see, what was I thinking last year? And how do I want to bring that kind of stuff to life this year? You can change these intentions as well. If something's not speaking to you, change that up. You can see there's an example there of completely different focus areas for someone. I change up a couple of mine. I am retired, and so, under the professional goals, I always have learning goals, because I want to make sure, that I'm learning something new and I'm being intentional about that. And so you can see on my example there on the bottom left, I always have a nonfiction book that I read. I watch a documentary and I take an online course and I try to take an in-person course. So, and sometimes it's going to a social as part of my learning goal for that month. And then here's, another, just a fun page with the washi tape set up and how they're doing that. But there's an example of 4 instead of 6 intentions. And they use one box as a quote, and they've used the other box as a scripture that they're focusing on for the month. So they're still using that space, but in a different way that serves them. So I'm going to put on some music while you work on your intentions, and I'll go back and forth between these slides. If you saw something that you like, be sure to grab a screenshot, and I'll be back in to check in with you in a moment. Okay, I saw some chatter in the chat about, I usually do mine these intentions like I do them a little bit later instead of at the setup, but hopefully you're getting, your mind is kind of bubbling around with some good thoughts. And that's what I love about, I like to show that sticky note one, right? Where you take notes, you start scribbling it down, and you just kind of think about how you want to frame out your month. So yes, take your space, give yourself the time, the headspace to make sure that they are aligning with what you want to do. Don't just slap something down, because it's important stuff that we're doing. This is informing the whole month, and so I want you to do a good job. You deserve that. You deserve to have the time focused on that. So now we're going to hop over to that mood tracker on page 10. Again, with the quotes, here I am. I am an optimist. I choose to be. There is a lot of darkness in our world. There's a lot of pain, and you can choose to see that, or you can choose to see the joy. If you try to respond positively to the world, you will spend your time better. I thought that was a great quote to lead in to our mood tracker. So the mood tracker, and I know that a lot of y'all are happy to see the wheel back. Remember that sometimes it changes. So sometimes we have the hexagon, and sometimes we have the wheel. On the months that have 31 days, it's the wheel. So for Team Wheel, Merry Christmas. We got you covered. That mood tracker helps us understand those trends and how we're feeling. I'm going to show you some ways to really use that wheel so that you can look for those trends. When you see those trends, then you can start making some shifts, right? You've got data. This is really a place to collect data. And then you'll be able to bring in the things that you need. So maybe hopefully it will help some of the moods that you struggle with to do a little turnaround. So again, there's our two mood trackers. If you're here for the first time, they will be different depending on the number of days in the month that we have. And again, this is our circle mood tracker, our wheel. Now I'm going to show you our feelings wheel. And we like to suggest that if you're doing this for the first time, just pick a couple of negative feelings, maybe a neutral feeling, a couple of the positive feelings to track. Again, you may want to really lean into how will my moods line up with having an optimistic kind of mindset, and you might want to really focus your mood tracker there. Now, some folks have found ways to fill in every emotion that comes up during the day. Some folks will do like a 12 o'clock check-in. How am I feeling at noon today? And they will fill that emotion in. And you can use stickers. Silk and Sonder has great stickers, colored pens, doodles, however you want to create your wheel to make it look like you want it to do. Now there are the feelings wheel, and the main feelings are in the very core. So you see joy, love, fear, anger, sadness, surprise. They're also the big words around the outside. And then if you follow that kind of wagon wheel out, you'll see all the different words that could capture what joy is or capture what anger is. And so if maybe you're feeling really angry at work, like all the time, maybe you really lean into several feelings of, how anger is, and really focus on those specifics. Again, you're collecting data so that you can figure out if there are things that need to be changed. I'll go back to this wheel while we're setting it up, but you can see this person's example on the left. They took some of those words. So they were tracking their mood of joy, but they found a bunch of other words. So if I'm feeling proud, that's going to go under joy. If I'm feeling delighted, that's going to go under joy. So they've kind of made their key in the middle of the wheel. I think that's a really great idea. And then the example next to that also is coded for some other things that they're tracking in conjunction with moods. So they're looking, do I have a migraine? Is it a bad pain day? how is my anxiety? Did I have an anxiety attack? And so they've got a little code there in the middle to track that with those feelings that they're having. Here's again some more how folks are filling that out, kind of picking those big words, the things that they want to track. And I love the little drawings of the little faces over there on the upper right. Again, you can use stickers. Now, if you don't use a mood tracker, there's a ton of things you can do to utilize this page to work in your life. I'm going to show you some repurpose ideas for the mood tracker, and they range from, a daily tracker, affirmations, anxiety levels, depression levels, energy levels. And I'm going to tell you, if you love these trackers and there's several things you're wanting to track, I suggest before you fill them out, maybe make a copy of them. Maybe there's something like, a morning routine, and you have this post, a separate, a copy of this posted on your bathroom mirror with the things that you're tracking in that morning routine. So, because these trackers are gold. They're so good to help you get the most out of your days. Here are some great examples of ways to repurpose. Someone's going to use their feelings tracker as a business habit tracker. I loved that idea. Anxiety tracker, spending tracker, that could be very meaningful right now if you're trying to really embrace a good budget for the holidays. My book tracker is there. I use mine repurposed as a book tracker, and my example is there on the bottom left, because I'm a big reader. And so I just kind of track, whatever book, and it can kind of show me how long it took me to read different books. A create happiness everyday tracker, an activity tracker for, getting your movement in. So you can rate your day on a scale of, 10 to 9 was fantastic. 7 or 8 is good, and just kind of track those days. So it's just about making it work for you. So let me put on a little bit of music while you work on this. Let us know, do you use this as a mood tracker, and what feelings are you going to track? Or are you a repurposer and use it in another way, because you will inspire someone else when you share? Okay, there's lots of you who repurpose this tracker, and you've dropped the ideas that you have in the chat. So thank you for sharing. But you've also, there's a few of you who put those moods that you are tracking this month. So hopefully, I love Colleen is going to use optimistic. That's one of her moods that she's going to be tracking. I love how that's going to align with the theme and all the work we're going to do as we dig into the journal prompts and everything. So I love that optimistic is going to be one of your words. That's a great idea. So now let's look at that habit tracker. This is probably my favorite tracker in the journal. I love the monthly habit tracker. And James Clear, he's the guru of habits. He says a habit is a behavior that has been repeated enough times to become automatic. And so that is a reminder to you that these may be the exact same habits that you have had over the last couple of months, because it takes a while for a habit to become automatic. So give yourself permission to bring those things over, that the things that you are working on. Again, maybe consider optimism and how that will be reflected in your habits. Mine are all going to be, all of my habits are going to be centered around the Advent season, the things that I do on this tracker this month. I'm stopping the other things that are there because I really want to track my mindfulness through this season. You could pick a theme like joy or grounded, delight. Continue those habits from last month. And then we say, find a balance. So the habits that you kind of tend to do, give yourself some wins in there. You could also pair, maybe you never miss brushing your teeth, but you forget to take your vitamins. So pair vitamins with brushing teeth, and give yourself that little pairing, and that's called habit stacking. And you have more success with those habits when they are stacked with something that you're probably already doing. So give yourself that win. And you don't have to fill out every one of these lines. Maybe you need to track 2 or 3 things this month. Don't overwhelm yourself. And once again, a reminder, this is data. It's showing you a story. So your blank spaces are giving you as much information as your filled out spaces. So be gentle with yourself. If you've got a bunch of blank spaces, that's the data that's telling you, maybe I need to reframe what I am desiring, as far as, because I'm obviously not doing it. So just take that data, and a reminder that, we tend to think of the days and we look at this month, but think about decades, like in 10 years from now, right? This is a process. And so, as long as we're trending the way we want to trend, then we're doing it. And we will have slip ups, and that's okay. We're going to give ourselves grace. Here are some great examples from our Sonder family. If you are artistic, oh my goodness, doing a mandala here. Oh, I just love this. I'm a black pen check girl, but this is a way that you could really lean into your artistic expression. Here, the one on the left is an example of my tracker. There's 3 things in the morning, 3 things at night. And I want you to notice in both my tracker and the example next to that, the weekends are kind of outlined. And that is because your weekends may look differently than your weekdays, or maybe you are a shift worker, or if you're in healthcare, and you might want to like draw the lines around the days off and see if that shows you any trends with your habits. Maybe on the days that you're working, you see you're not getting the things done that you desire to do. So then that gives you the data to maybe reframe and figure a little something out. So just a suggestion to mark those weekends. And then again, I've been sharing with you, I'm doing my Advent journey. And so take a look at that intentions page, and how can those intentions inform the habits that go on that tracker for the month. So really making these tools in your journal work for you. So again, just a suggestion. Also, you can see some examples. Look, eek, COVID got me. There's going to be times when you maybe can't get anything done. Write it down, document that again, that's more data for you. I love this idea. Use a slip up to stay on track. It says, imagine looking back at this moment in 6 months time and saying, and that was the last time I did that. Isn't that a great feeling? So slip ups are okay. Just use it to your advantage. And then again, there's some examples of a couple of folks just tracking, excuse me, 4 things instead of filling out all the lines. We have some inspiration for you if you're not sure about, what you want to put on this page. Maybe you add one new thing this month, and we've got some great graphics. If you're not following Silk and Saunders Instagram, follow it. It's got gold content. I got both of these habit suggestions from that Instagram page. So I'm going to stop talking, put on some music, and be back to check in with you in just a moment. All right, a little bit of chat going on about ADHD and habits. And yes, they do. They will look a little bit different. I completely agree with that. I have better luck when I pair something new with something that I'm already doing that will be on my tracker every single month or every single week during that weekly tracker, because otherwise my mind is noticing everything and I can't do it. So that is so true. And Lynn, I love the opportunity when I hear you wrote, I'm learning to let go of a lot of shoulds for myself and my household. And that's so true. And I love the statement, we got to quit shouldn't on ourselves. So stop all that shouldn't. I would like to close out very quickly with a little reflection note. We're going to think about the month of November and the month of December as we're going to personify them. And I want you to spend just a moment or two saying goodbye to November. Is there anything you want to thank November for? Just kind of a quick reflection on that whole month. And then spend a few minutes welcoming and saying hello to December. What are you hopeful for? What are you anticipating? What are you optimistic about? What do you want to see and what do you want to do? And so I won't read it because we're short on time, but mine is there on the bottom left. I'd like you to find just a little blank space. You might want to, I actually did mine on the kind of the extra week that's in our journal. Uh, on page 28. Since that's that extra November week, I just did mine at the bottom. So I'm going to leave you with just a moment to kind of do a quick little note to your friend November and another one to your friend December. Thank you for taking just a moment to write to your friends. I know that sounds a little silly, but when we can personify those months and make them very personal to us and embrace that time as a friend in our life, sometimes it just helps us be optimistic about what's to come. I am so honored to have spent this evening with you and would love to see your setup, any of your pages, any, all, some parts in Sonder Club if you're comfortable. And if you're not, that's okay. But we love to see that. We love to see your work. We're proud of you. And I can go and grab some great examples for next month. Also, Malika dropped the link to the personal coaching if that's something you want to look into it. And if the price point is tricky for you right now with this beta program, feel free to reach out to customer service because I know that there are some things that they can do for the Sonder family. Explain your circumstances and let them, delight you. But you would need to reach out to hello@silkandsonder.com. There is my playlist for the evening. And again, I'll drop that link in the chat. I'll be working on this playlist as the month goes on. I'm just so honored to have been able to say goodbye to November with you and to get excited about our upcoming month of December and really embracing and thinking about that optimistic mindset, and that's what it's going to do for our spirit. You guys just make it a great start to the new month, and I'll see you
That's the
soon.
way that the world goes round. I know a guy that's got a lot to lose. He's a pretty nice fella, kinda confused, got muscles in his head, ain't never been used, thinks he owns half of this town. Starts drinking heavy, gets a big red nose, beats his old lady with a rubber hose, then he takes her out to dinner, buys her new clothes. That's the way that the world goes round. That's the way that the world goes round. You up one day, the next you're down. It's a happening to